above, the BI of the targeted direction where the momentum of the combined life force must lead, if by a future which exists at all, we'll need to go. The Tesla realm of future, where once that critical effort is reached, will end time and a 1,000-year jump will occur. Thus, awakening all out of the VR video game, GTA 6, Gaslight the Almighty is looking less and less likely. Since this intentionally stifled insanity has held me on the cusp of mass violence, I can only think of the resentment that I possess, knowing how simple for them I made it. No war to kill 2 non-devotees or suicide bombing, or even giving everything they got before self-liberation from the system. Nah, it was only $1 each. And God forbid this damn process be done in a reasonably decent or intelligent way. Nope. And no matter who or what remained yet binding me, mainly these evil women, it yet proved to show me exactly why the attitude is in those strict oppressioning places, and even in the southern parts, where clearly it's for the best to limit their ability to speak, both telepathy and otherwise. It was really disappointing to witness a continued unaccountability for failings and worse than the refusals to remedy or alter remedy. Approaches and efforts, so rather than improving into success, it calloused the trouble, rendering it into impossible complexes. Then, if that wasn't despicable enough, inflicting mind rape assault, ridiculed to a point of near lethal self-defense, seeking violence in order to defend from assault, evil.
And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he has sufficient money to finish it? Lest haply, after he hath laid the foundation, and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, This man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king, going to make war against another king, sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he is able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000? Or else while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an ambassador and desireth conditions of peace. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Now, all over America and throughout the world, there are thousands of young people that are turning to Christ. Probably more young people turning to Christ at this moment in the United States than any other time in American history. What does it mean to come to Christ? Christ said, count the cost. When you come to Christ, you must count the cost of your body, your mind, and your heart, because he demands that he be Lord of all three. Lord of your body, Lord of your mind, and Lord of your heart. First, the body. Whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he has sufficient money to finish it? Lest haply, after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, This man began to build and was not able to finish. Or what king, going to make war against another king, sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he is able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000? Or else while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an ambassador and desireth conditions of peace. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Now, all over America and throughout the world, there are thousands of young people that are turning to Christ. Probably more young people turning to Christ at this moment in the United States than any other time in American history. What does it mean to come to Christ? Christ said, count the cost. When you come to Christ, you must count the cost of your body, your mind, and your heart, because he demands that he be Lord of all three. Lord of your body, Lord of your mind, and Lord of your heart. First, the body.
Hey, or shit. Little to laugh about unless one is a Elohim or Archon. But even that would be for those really slow in comprehension ones. And I know there is a few, but whether it matters at all or not, it's the tedium of having to go through another day of it that for me is greatly linked to the shaman blood ritual, as the piercing of skin sacrifice is so similar to the daily tortuous level of aggravation, and with such irritating any thought being only resulting in a fantasy of violent outbursts due to agitating stupid bullshit. This telepathy retard psycho keeps wasting my time in their piece of shit talking. It is truly a wonder how it continues, and I suppose the consolation in founding hell for the empathy programs alone, as I proved a mind-numbing realization that these shit brains weren't decent or worth a shit enough to abide once the proof verification through my IAR algorithm hallucination screen was released way back in 2016 to what should have brought a mass effort to offer up the dollar, where the line be stretched millions long in a mass effort since this Los Angeles place, if these folk had some of the clearly erred, unestimated intelligence those back when figured they wise, would when this scheme was in its early stages of planning. And while the trust from then remains MIA, it does boggle the mind why it is so consumed with greedy, shisty scum, apparently, who had been placed in responsibility over the massive collection of preparatory offerings throughout the years. That needed to be available 50 years ago, let alone 1982 or 2000. Already know the types and the thing in dealing with these kind, much as these shine bargainers flaked, yet still is none of that eagerness then seems available now that the time to repay came, and yet here, not even the worthless wounds done anything. Whatever the case, luckily for my long-developed misanthropy, my devotion to pessimism making only the lack of a stake in fit outcome better.
14:26. If anyone comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, even their own lifesick, a person cannot be my discipling again. And it is of the fruit that you shall know them. But until people understand what God is and ye love him, the false concept of free, barely a free, one and as the whole at the realm presence of watchers, can now scientifically be proven what people as Christians should be doing is preparing for offensive end. What being a pledger of one's life to the only cause that has proven life after death, and in the actual reading of the cause of death. The father of lies is a liar, yet, as Genesis 3:22, clearly present so early in the Word of God, it'd be an intelligent idea to understand what giving the Word means. ID may be this hippy-dippy fluff where the grim meat of reality is rarely seen thus forgotten as people so often forget, but view has a good ending to this. Life so that, as those of us who decided to apply ourselves to a conscious effort, to do something about it, rather than getting bogged down and caught up in this world's trappings in which this world's God. Jehovah Aka Satan has to then take away, so he and his arch and good cop, bad cop at the realm. Hustlers can get his cattle to actually want to exist as a VR distracted source of sustenance, being a root full thinking that it cannot get worse. It always does, and until you and those who obsess about what other people are doing. DTW, the homeless are non-consensual live rats, rendered invalid, due to a very real and scientifically proven as how to. Tortured by demon and angel BS that any bitcher about bums had to gut the whammy on them. Wouldn't last long and more than likely if a gun owner become another mass violence person who all were also victims. Whatever the case, anyone so clueless to make such absurd presumptions as the Christian way, consisting of that hippy-dippy shit it's a hate-obsessed Nazi suicide death cult. How? They assume it'll just be given. Then they might as well tear down those stupid building and burn all them books because it is simply the final letdown because you'll ultimately learn that those in control are there because they were willing to do what those not willing to do would And these are intentionally the most sadistic, creed-perverse scumbags, and at their Jehovah, that is the worst of it. Just look at the animal sacrifice description, that is Satanism. Then read the last page. Learn who the Freemasons keep secret regarding who the eventual God will be. Who the hell is it? But ultimately it's nothing but a scheme. And while this invention called Messiah is just a scheme as well, nothing deep or profound, it's like fishing. You cast it out seeking for that fish which will be dinner. There is the intent, an idea of what that dinner will consist of. But ultimately it's nothing until you get a fish that comes along and makes that thing real. And in such a thing as what a Messiah is, little actual power is placed upon such a, in essence, slave to all. Being that, if what it is for him to achieve it be to place all else below him, and actually succeed at getting all to go along with it, then this ridiculous Messiah nonsense is just foolishness and just absurd. For as it truly would be a mere show, or a process to achieve what would be hopefully attained afterward, but just as it's a pie in the sky thing, this slave phony would have nothing that he should anyways. That if, let's say, it was discovered that all this God stuff was really technology, and those in control are what we call the Elohim, and if that God technology, this God machine, could have all its many various attributed capabilities we thought was divine, but if all that could be consolidated in its means to control, bringing it to a single point for operation while also being able to automate it as well. And if that Messiah dude actually was tied into it, irrevocably so, he was okay.
Police officers in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, were asking people to be on the lookout for a man who